everyone. Kansas Sports HQ here, episode 80. That's right, 80. Yeah, we made it to 80, and we're just going to shoot this morning, I think.
The first time I've done that in the morning.
Yeah. How are you guys today?
Good. Little chest workout in today. It's Tuesday. Everybody knows you do chest on Tuesday.
You know, if you're what's that called?
Educated?
Well, it wasn't enough. Unenlightened. Do chest on Monday.
Yeah, rookies.
No, you do movement on Mondays and then chest on Tuesday.
Exactly. Move Monday.
Just kidding. Y'all do whatever you want.
Well,
Just go to the gym.
I apologize to those who are trying to watch on Instagram.
No, you will fix it.
Can't.
Instagram's our one follower. He gets on every time.
No, that is YouTube.
YouTube's our second follower.
And Facebook.
Yeah, sorry. Can't fix it while we're going live. My bad. We do restart. I can't do that. No. I accidentally removed episode 80 instead of episode 79 from the log. My bad.
So it's episode 79?
No, it says it's live. But it can't be live without me linking it together.
Yeah. We got a few.
Yeah, it's our guy. I bet you it's Matt. And on the YouTube.
Oh.
But
Just love how we're getting YouTube watchers now.
Hey, man. We're
Yeah.
big YouTube guys.
It won't be long until we get censored on there, though. Sorry, Matt.
I don't know if we'll get censored.
We
YouTube's
might.
all about those big censorships.
Well, that's
Really?
why you get royalty-free music and you do all the back-end stuff that keeps it safe.
Well, he's talking about our words. Us.
Matt says he's here.
Us being
Flex.
censored,
Yeah.
actually. That's
Yeah.
good.
Welcome, Matt, to
Yeah.
It's
a
actually
very
my
aimless
Anniversary today.
happy anniversary.
Happy
Whatever we
anniversary.
made it to, 6, 7 years, whatever we decided
7
it
years.
was.
Whatever you
19
decided.
to,
it was.
19 to 26. It's 7, right?
Yeah.
A full 6 years starting the 7th, I think. That's how that works.
Scouts
yeah,
how old?
yeah, something like
Scouts how old?
6.
So it'd be 7. 7 years.
Starting year 7.
Yeah.
She'll be 7 in May.
that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Oh, yeah. The world will know. Trust me.
The world.
Getting close to her birthday.
We're gonna get,
yeah, we're
pretty
gonna
soon.
get, she's going to put
Number
her sign
7.
on the door.
Yeah, it's like it's coming up.
I think she gets that from my mom, actually.
Yo, Matt, since you're on
Twins'
here,
birthday week.
what should we talk about today? Give us a fun sports topic, not basketball.
Let's talk about the court docs of the King of Freight CEO accused
Oh,
of
man.
slapping, choking a 15-year-old boy.
Wow, that's wild.
Talk about getting censored. There you go.
Steps down. Bye. Felony
Who's
charges.
King of Freight.
It's a
They're
big company here.
They were like a monster
Shipping
that
company.
happened when COVID came around. They do a bunch of contract labor. And then they just
Wow.
kind of grew worldwide pretty quickly.
Yeah, it got really big.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people I know a bunch of people that work there.
I mean, they started off in a little building. Now they took over that old Gander Mountain building and
Yep.
have their own parking lot and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's wild.
Carlos LaGrange striking out Aaron Judge yesterday.
He also homered off of
I know,
Carlos LaGrange.
I know,
so
I saw.
it's-
But he got his lick back.
How
Struck him
about
out 102 mile an hour fastball.
LaGrange's got an arm, man.
Dude, that thing is cooking.
Yeah, he hopefully will be. I hope he'll be in the bullpen before the end of the year. For the Yankees, he's still in Double-A though. So
Oh, really?
yeah, he didn't make it up Triple-A. Yankees have a couple of really nice arms in their minor league system that like their pitching depth starting wise this year, even with Rodon and Cole out to start the year, like it's been the best spot it's been in a while, especially with some young arms who got experience last year and then some more
Ooh.
young arms coming up the pipe. So
Matt with a good suggestion to just talk about today.
All right, let's hear it, Matt.
Youth sports around the area, how y'all think it could improve and how y'all would implement it. Ooh, man, did you watch our episode about creating a middle school, high school draft? Bro, are we talking in season or like for their schools? Or are we talking about
I think this is probably, I'm
just a
assuming,
generalized approach.
Yeah, probably just in general, how the fact that we have youth athletes playing multiple different sports for more than 6 months out of the year. So, yeah, I would assume that's what it is.
I mean, youth sports wise, I think there's it's kind of exploded as a monopoly, and then somebody says, "Well, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to jump ship," and all of that stuff. The commitment level has been thrown out the window for athletes to kind of get better, and there are favorites out there, and people are recruiting, and oh man, it gets kind of nasty from here, you know, all the time, I guess, is what I hear. And how I would fix that, man, there's no fixing that because the parents want to be involved. They want to talk. They want to put their input in. Their kid's the best, and even if their kid only shows up to practice and looks like garbage, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, kids who look like garbage. Hold on, R&D went on this. It's a little
For what?
for this. So I just searched how much money does youth sports generate. The U.S. youth sports industry is a massive, rapidly growing, estimated 40 billion plus annual market as of 2025, 2026. And this is AI talking, but driven by intense parental
Fake
spending.
news.
Intense parental spending on travel teams, private coaching, and specialized training. This revenue, which is nearly doubled from pre-pandemic levels, often surpasses the combined annual revenues of the NFL and NBA. So family spending surge. Spending on youth sports jumped 46% from 2019 to 2024, with the average U.S. sports family spending over $1,000 per child or $1,016 on a primary sport in 2024. Total revenue estimates for the annual revenue of U.S. youth sports business are now placed at over $40 billion, with some projections suggesting a global market of $56 billion in 2025, reaching up to $154.5 billion by 2035. Private equity firms are heavily investing in this sector, acquiring club programs, academies, and in some cases vertically integrating apparel and event businesses. Beyond direct consumer spending, this industry fuels local economies. For example, industry
I think this dude
fuels
really
local
might
economies.
We need to get you to a doctor.
For example, okay, camaraderie and stewardesses. Calm down.
Well, we fixed it.
Yeah, because I told you to, because my mind's sharper than a tack. Beyond direct consumer spending, this industry fuels local economies. For example, the Cooperstown All-Star Village in New York adds $95 million to the local economy annually. Industry drivers. The market is fueled by about 27 to 60 million children, depending on survey definition, in organized competitive sports. And that's all I got. That's all R&D's got. But obviously, follow the money.
Well, I mean, how do you fix? One, you got to address what issues you're talking about, right? So, like, there's a bag full of things, I think, but some of the big things,
literal bag.
Yeah, some of the things that I think that come to mind that I think would help shift some of the culture. Number one, the parents are the problem. So the parents are the problem when it comes to the financial side. I think the parents are the problem when it comes to the the toxic side of the way that things work in the team dynamics. I think the parents are the problem when it comes to the competition side. I mean, I think that if there's one way that you could just blanket answer this, although it's not complete the whole thing over, but parents are the problem. Like, that is the number one thing I would say. How do you fix it? I think that parents need to take a step back and look in the mirror and understand that, there's got to be realistic goals that are set for what it is that you're trying to do, and be honest with yourself in the approach on how you're going about trying to do it. I mean, not worrying about winning and losing just seems like a very easy way to say it, but that, like, you obviously don't want to raise a loser and you want to raise a winner. So there's just a right way of going about that in my brain and a wrong way. and you want your kids to be competitive. You want them to care enough to where, like you see the kid that cries after they've lost. Like I was that kid. I think highly competitive people are that way. You just got to learn how to coach through that and teach through that in comparison to what you see a lot of times now, which is where you see demeaning parents through it. And you see this, cancer culture that comes along with that as well too. I mean, there's a lot of parental issues when it comes to how you go about these cultures around these youth teams, that most of them, and this is the other part, we talk about this stat quite a bit. Most of the time in youth athletics, you're dealing with a lot of people that didn't play sports at a high level. They may claim they did. Well, I had a scholarship, but my hamstring and blah, blah bullshit, right? You get that every single day, but
They point to their shoulder and they say,
Yeah.
hamstring.
it just wouldn't work to,
My quad.
yeah.
Hold my
and
quad.
so, like that living through the kid type thing, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that in some pieces, because
you
want to,
you want the best.
yeah, you
in
want
innocence.
you
wanna
want those
encourage
things.
them.
Yes, but getting to a point where you lose focus on the big picture, that is a big issue. Because I'm telling you right now, I do college recruiting every day. Like, nobody gives a shit about your 15, 16, 18, 19, whatever year-old tournament that you're going and playing in. Nobody cares.
The Babe Ruth, Cal Ripken.
Yeah, in Arkansas, that you
guys.
guys won, and now you're the number one PG 9-year-old team. I had a dad tell me that the other day. Well, we're like the number 1 9U in the state, and I was like, cool.
I would have been just like, that's neater than a
Like,
pocket on a shirt.
I'm like,
yeah, that's neat. Yeah,
that's great.
That's cooler than
Like,
a slice of bread.
Neat.
And again, like there's balance, right? Like you can want to be the best. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But losing sight of the big picture is usually where you see things start to go downhill. And and I don't blame you for wanting to be the best 9U team. I would too. But there's just a right way of going about that, and not making everything only about doing this right here, right now, because that's where the negative stuff breeds from, because you get so center focused on, we got to win this tournament, we got to do this, we got to do that, and then, oh, why aren't Johnny's parents here? They're not supporting this. They're blah blah blah, blah. Like, and then
they're at their sister's volleyball tournament,
and
not here. I had to bring them,
and then the
They're
next
just
thing
not
you
all
know,
about it.
Yeah,
They're not all about it.
verbal
and
vomit.
it's like, what? Like, dude, we're 9. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
I think
just don't get it.
you also look at the dads who are like, oh man, I could be a better coach than this because I want my kid to play, and then they start chipping away at who's this, who's that, and then they take on too much, and then it turns into a disaster.
Yeah. And I'd never knock youth coaches, because most youth coaches
Volunteers.
There's 2 pieces to that. Number 1, a lot of times they don't have experience. So, you can't expect people to just understand how to do things that they don't have much experience doing. And then number 2, they're there because they love either their kids that are out there, or they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, because most of the time people don't want to go volunteer their time to do anything in this world, or go and help other people and do things for them just for nothing, because last I knew, youth coaches aren't making any money. So it's just understanding the balance there, and understanding what the big picture stuff is really about. You know what I remember from growing up playing baseball with my buddies, who mind you, we played together our entire youth lives, all the way up until like 16, 17, 18 years old. Like when we did some high school level stuff, and like some guys split off from there, but we played together from like 6 or 7, like we've known each other our entire lives. I don't remember a single fucking game. I don't. I don't
remember getting the call, hopping on the bike, and saying yes.
I remember moments with them. I take that back. Like, I remember moments in games that I obviously was a part of, right? My personal like history of playing baseball. I remember my first grand slam I hit. I remember robbing a home run. Like, I remember those types of things. But I remember going to certain tournaments, but I remember the car rides there, the car rides back, the staying in the hotel, the water gun fights in the hotel, like
camaraderie.
Those are the memories that I have from playing with these guys, who I am still friends with today. Like, like I still have guys that I talk to that we played together at 6, 7, 8, 9 years old that we're still buddies. Our parents liked each other. They hung out. They were, having cookouts. They were hanging out at the hotels. Like, they were doing all that stuff. They wanted us to win, but it was never, the only time that we ever got it, like, was when we were not performing at the level that they knew that we could perform at, number one. And usually that boiled down to we had bad attitudes, we had bad effort. It was a us problem. Like, it wasn't well, we're gonna get mad at your coach now because you're not playing, like that type of problem. Like, it was never anything like that. So, and I think that starts from the parental culture, like, of who you have there and what they're there for and how it's going, and everybody understanding their role on the team.
Discipline between like our age group and the age groups that are now is completely different.
Oh, for sure.
And if I acted like a clown in the dugout, I would know about it, and then I'd hear about it when I get home.
Yeah, I mean, we had firefighters as our coaches, so like
that's cool.
I know one of them had a little bit of baseball experience that he played in college, I believe, but the other two were just like hard-nosed dads, you know what I mean? And like, they were just about doing stuff the right way, like, just do the stuff the correct way, like whatever it is, whether they were teaching us right or wrong, it didn't matter. Like, we were just very structured and very like, hey, we're warming up this way, we're doing this, you do, and that's why we were such a close-knit group. But we were also an independent team. We weren't a travel organization, which there's nothing wrong with those if they're ran the right way, right? If there's leadership there and that type of stuff. But yeah, I mean, and I obviously we speak from baseball as being our experience, I think mainly on this, but I would guesstimate that most other organizations have some of these same issues, but in the sense of different
I would
sports.
assume baseball and softball are the biggest, the biggest contributor to youth
just because
sports.
there's not so many substitutions, and like, you know what I mean? Like, when you start the game, you play most of the game. Like, you're not basketball, you're in and out. Volleyball, you're in and out.
The numbers I mentioned earlier, I would say baseball and softball are probably
big piece of it.
Maybe even soccer.
Soccer, you're in and out.
Soccer,
a lot of subs.
Worldwide.
Yeah,
potentially. Yeah. So I did R&D's back on it again.
Oh, goodness.
But
Can you paraphrase this one?
No. Because he just gets bored and he just checks out.
What are you reading?
So this is my college infield coach.
Oh, I'm interested now.
And
was he any good?
Oh yeah, he's probably my favorite coach I've ever had.
Was he good at infield?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah, he's a national champion.
Love that.
Played at Georgia Gwinnett.
I have a thing for like defensive.
Yeah. No, he's a dog. Second baseman, shortstop sometimes I think. And he's really good. But he was my infield coach. He was a GA, and then he went out, coached at Mizuno Northeast for a little while, and then went back home, and I think he coached high school ball for a little bit. Now he started his own club ball team down there. Now he's about to open up his own facility with, Parisi style training that we do here and baseball. So, but he posted this the other day, and it was very, very interesting. But he said, can't even lie, youth baseball feels like it's at an identity. And he's in Snellville, Georgia, so somewhere, I'm pretty sure that's near Atlanta. But can't even lie, youth baseball feels like it's an identity crisis. It's in an identity crisis. I'm sure it's all of youth sports. A lot of people blame travel baseball and all the clubs for watering down youth baseball, which is partially true and valid. But if there was more and better ran rec ball programs, then the demand for 20 million travel ball teams wouldn't be there. I hear it all the time. Oh, our rec ball program sucks. It's non-existent. Fishy stuff was happening with the money. We only practiced one time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list is endless. I grew up in Snellville and played the majority of my baseball there. I'm 31, so in the early 2000s, there was plenty of kids playing in the rec leagues at all the parks and not just a couple. At SGA Park, we also had something called the GGBL. It was a great league with great talent, and that was a higher competition than rec, but great before families got hardcore into travel. I look around and there's really nothing like that. It sucks, and the development cycle that families need is gone. By the way, baseball is meant to travel, and I mean travel a lot, not just local tournaments and then maybe a destination trip. I played for Shiloh Heat, Team Elite, Georgia Big Sticks, and some others I'm forgetting, but we traveled every weekend, stayed in hotels all the time, and played baseball against kids from all over. That's travel baseball. Nowadays, travel baseball is just a 30-minute drive from the house. And he says, I got something brewing up. If you all know me, I'm a baseball psycho, and this is what I dream about. if you're a baseball head and want to see some change in youth development cycle, haul at me. Let's talk and get our minds together and build. So maybe we should have him on the pod.
I like that.
I have to reach out to him. But I think the at least for baseball, and I'm sure softball as well, the underlying problem that spawns all of this stuff is the lack of a solid like rec ball foundation around here. When you don't
contributes for sure.
When you don't have something like that, that is a very affordable thing for kids to do and just go play and develop in for a little bit. I mean, you have like the Y has their leagues and stuff, but then you're just, well, I have to go pay this much money to be in this club ball team because I want my kid to get better, and he's not going to get better on this rec ball team where they don't play very much games at all. And by the way, I played baseball. I went and played college baseball. Okay, you can go look at my stats. There's none. So yeah, I didn't do very well. But I went and played college baseball, and I played baseball 2 months out of the year every single year of my life. Just so you know. So you don't have to play 9 months out of the year to go play at the next level.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another issue right there. You don't have to play 60 fucking games at 9 years old to be a good baseball player moving forward. That's retarded. I'm sorry if you're a coach who plays that many games at that age. It's more of a generalization, but that pisses me off that these kids are going out there and playing 60 effing games. That is almost a half of an MLB season. Their bodies aren't meant to do that. Okay. So there's another thing. Just sidebar rant real quick.
Yeah, we play half of that. And
because we're talking about 60 games, 65 games, and then we're talking about 3 or 4 practices a week where a kid's throwing a baseball, and you can't pay attention to every little kid throwing the baseball correctly that much over the course of the year, so they're developing bad habits. Yeah. You can do your very best, trust me, but it's sometimes it's going to slip through the crack, and their arms can't take that. That's why you see so many freaking Tommy John surgeries on teenagers, because they've been throwing a baseball 1 million times a year for 16 years of their life before their arms and shoulders are even developed. That's why more Tommy Johns are happening on kids under 18 than people over 18, and that's freaking ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, but when you lack a rec ball,
I'm proud of you.
Okay. But when you lack like a solid like rec ball for younger ages, before you're like, okay, my kid really wants to do baseball at 12, 13. Let's get after it a little bit. Let's take that next step, pay a club fee to be in some more competitive tournaments and stuff.
But I think that's part of the problem.
That is part of the problem.
The facade of like rec. Hey, you broke a chair again?
Dang.
I don't know what just happened. Probably broke it.
But the facade of that of rec ball, like we just had like a guy, what was that, 3 years ago now? Rec ball in Goddard, some coach goes viral on, whatever social media because somebody's filming the game, and this dude's out there like he's a coach at a rec ball league coaching the
I agree, Matt.
Goddard Bananas or whatever the hell they were called, and like this dude goes ballistic. And he's like on home plate, like going crazy. And like, like this kid, I don't even remember the situation, but he goes viral because he's like cussing at kids and cussing at parents and this thing and the other. And it's like, what are we doing? Like what, why? Like where, like where is this switch that like turns this into that?
By the way, I know I just went on a rant where I dropped 3 F-bombs. Sorry about that. That would never happen for me coaching on a baseball field. I will say that. You can probably this is you should be able as a leader of that team in public setting like that, around parents, around young boys.
Yeah.
You should be able to control your emotions
and set an example.
And you it's not that serious. Whether your kid gets screwed over on a call or whatnot, you can have
it boils back to the parent.
Exactly.
Problem.
Exactly.
Like, one way or another.
You think you really need to I don't know what like you said, I don't know what the switch is behind that over emotional. Like when I get and you guys know better than anybody, when I get into a rant of something is because I am passionate about what I'm talking about. Okay, and I care about what I'm talking about. It's not I need to prove a point that I'm mad or that my kid got screwed or whatever, and I need to prove a point to this umpire that he's wrong.
Who is also a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, that-
95% of the time, yeah. There's
Well, and
also
then
a
people
kid-
wonder why these guys don't want to referee anymore. They don't want to umpire anymore. You think it's because of the kids?
No, it's the parents.
Like, dude, the dudes that do basketball refereeing,
Oh,
that I can't even imagine.
no.
Like,
I've seen so many wild reels.
dude, where they're, I mean, it's people coming
That's-
out of the stands, and then you're surrounded, and then all of a sudden we got players swinging on each other and like stuff like that. It's
is
like
basketball, and I used
what?
to
Like, that culture is
ref basketball.
unbelievable.
I used to do that back in college every once in a while, and that is worse than like baseball.
Oh,
'Cause
for
I did both
So-
those. I've on baseball games, I ref basketball.
Yeah.
It is basketball is worse, and you have all those parents. You think crap all game? I was like, yeah, so
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I know.
all right,
I
I'm gonna
know,
go home
yeah.
after this, have a beer, and be fine.
Yeah.
I suggest the same to you.
So kind of talking about Matt's point here. He says, I feel like you should be a feeler to find what your kid loves to do. Shouldn't get serious until closer to middle school. We talk about the rec ball, the YMCAs, the experiences that they're giving. But there's really no middle ground. It's either YMCA
It's
or
like
let me dump
yeah.
$3,500 into this travel ball season where I play local and go to 3 tournaments
See,
that
and
are
I
that are
disagree with that.
an hour away.
I think it should always be serious, but your energy should be focused on the
Develop.
game and the athlete. Like, there is no reason that you should just think it's not, like, if you're trying to train somebody to be a high level athlete and be a winner, it's always serious. Like, there's no, like, you want to mess around, you mess around on your own time. Like, go mess around in the backyard, go play by yourself in your backyard and hit the balls. Like, that's your mess around time. Like, if you just want to make it fun, whatever. But when you step across the
So
line,
it really was playing ball all year
the-
round.
the issue is people don't understand what they're doing. They're uneducated. It doesn't matter who you play against. You're playing against the game. And I don't care what level that is. It doesn't matter if it's rec. It doesn't matter if it's, travel, the youth ball, middle, high. It does not make a difference. You are playing against the game at every level. And people that are uneducated, they don't have the experience. They don't understand how to coach. They don't understand what it is. They twist that to making it an us versus them mentality. And as soon as that happens, it just starts going downhill in a bad way really, really quick.
I think that's a good point. Thinking that instead of playing against the other team, you're playing against the game. And that should be what the focus should be on at that age is, yes, it is serious, but I'm not necessarily chasing wins as I am chasing how they act on the field.
100%.
And that's where we hold them accountable. How they act on the field, how they respond from the failure, how they, teach them, right? Teach them that, okay, you just made this bad throw here. This is why it's wrong, and this is what you need to do instead.
How do you respond?
How do you
carry yourself?
What's your attitude like? How good of a teammate you are?
Correct.
And when you put the focus on those things, usually the wins come,
100%.
right? But when
It's
we
not about
focus,
counting 'em.
when we focus on, well, this player needs this amount of playing time because the parents are this much of a pain in my butt, and then they've, they're hanging out with me more, and I'm a little more friends with them, so I'm going to play their kid more.
They brought a case of Bud Light.
They would be kicked off my team.
Yeah, well, and it's when we put the focus on chasing rings at age 9, 10, 11, as opposed to, I think we've all seen that video of like after they won, I don't know what age it was, 10, 11, something. Some team won a tournament, and then like the wife of the coach like ran onto the field, jumped into the arms of the coach. I'm like,
I mean,
what?
Because he just won the Masters.
This is what it's become though. Is that I mean,
you can be excited. Like, there's nothing.
no,
like, being excited
that's
is
fine.
great.
But it's just like
There's just, you got to have some sense of where you're at, what the setting is, have some salve about the situation. Like, be excited. The kids should be the ones doing that
we
because
should be celebrating
they're
the kids.
playing for the right reasons, and they're playing, battling that adversity and doing that type.
That's
of
a lot
stuff.
of games to play at that age in a tournament on the
Yeah.
road. And
The ones
they
that
come
kill-
out on top. And
The stuff
that's
that
awesome.
kills me is like you hear these youth games and kid makes a bad throw, and like here it comes from the stand. Come on, John,
Oh.
pull your head out. Do it better. It's like,
because you can hear it on their live stream.
it's like, dude, how do you expect that to, one, be perceived in any positive light whatsoever? Number one. Number two, don't you think that John out there already is embarrassed, feels like shit? understands that he didn't do it right, like, it's just like you're doubling down on just making it worse, expecting someone who's underdeveloped mentally and physically to just be able to then control their emotions, which you as an adult who's their example can't even freaking do. And now all of a sudden we expect this 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year old to do it.
Oh, it doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. Like,
It
what
doesn't
do
get
you
any better.
mean?
When you're always met with, and then as
were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. You get a little older, and these
And I'm not,
parents,
dude, I'm
coaches
not
are dropping
soft. Like, I'm not soft
F-bombs
on
you.
But you
Then
gotta.
you go numb to that, and you don't
Exactly.
respond to coaching anymore.
Correct. There's a way of doing it to get the best out of your athletes. Because I'm not a soft coach. Like, dude, I coach these kids in here hard. I coach my own kids hard. I coach everybody hard. Like, it's my coaching style. Like, I coach hard. But I coach hard with the proper communication. Like, there's a right way of going about doing it to where you are getting the buy-in from your athletes. And I don't know, but and don't get me wrong, there's certain times that you got to do different things based off of the athlete, based off how they perceive the information, and based off how they are motivated. Like, there's a lot of variables, but just in general, embarrassing someone usually isn't going to be the best way to get more out of that person. It's usually not. Like, there may be a few kids here and there where it's like you got to put them on the spot a little bit to get them to click back in and pay attention. Like, can't say I've never done it, because I definitely have. But
I do it a lot.
There's definite people that clicks for them. But when you're in a game setting, it's one thing training. That's a whole different thing. But in a game setting,
you have to be.
That's like you're this 7, 8 to 15 to 18 to whatever age it is. Dude, they're not emotionally and mentally developed enough to just flush that and kick back in.
Exactly, because a lot of them,
Like they're letting down their parents.
Yeah, I know. I was a head case when I played, because I always felt the need I needed to show everybody that I know that I messed up, and I was angry that I messed up. That's where it came from. Like, so I really, I didn't have any really issues with coaches being like that. But I myself was so hard on myself, because like when I mess up and I know I could have done better, should have done better, I was already mad at myself, obviously, but then I had to show everybody else that I know I messed up and I was mad. So then I'd throw something, or I'd slam my helmet down, or say a few words and all that stuff. And then I'm coaching, right? So fast forward a couple years, and I'm coaching junior high baseball, so 6th to 8th graders, and I'm the head coach. My assistant coach was a friend of mine, just graduated high school like the last year. So he's not fully emotionally developed yet either. And I'm like, our pitcher's not throwing strikes or whatever, or I can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe a fielder made a bad decision, and my assistant coach has a little bit of a freak out moment. It's like, come on, what are we? I was like, dude, chill out. I was like, trust me. I played with you in high school. You played with me. We both know we made those mistakes, same exact mistakes in high school. And I know I make those kind of mistakes in college currently. Like, just chill out. It's not going to do any good to get really pissed at them, because they already know they messed up. They already not happy with themselves. You don't need to go say something to set them off even more, because then it's going to take them longer to return to their own same mental state, because we got to try and teach them that, hey, it's all right to mess up. We just need to, move on and get better, because I know better than anybody. You mess up in the field, you're going to take that to your next at bat if you don't forget about it. And then when you mess up in your next at bat, you're going to take that onto the mound if you're pitching. And it's a snowball effect in baseball. It's a cancer, and it'll spread big time. All over the field if you let it, and it can turn.
The ball will find you,
and the ball will find you when you're feeling that way. You can't, especially if you don't want the ball, it's gonna find you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's how baseball works.
That's how.
I
remember in general.
I remember when my dad coached like the youth teams that I was on, up until I didn't want to listen to him anymore. He'd always, as a pitcher, he would just be like, 6 pitches or 9 pitches, your choice.
69, nice.
6 pitches or 9 pitches, your choice. And and of course I let it hit me hard when I was like, 5 batters deep, more pitches than I expected or whatnot. But my dad was involved in the development side of things for baseball for a long time, and now I see dads like not doing that. Like my dad would play catch with me after work. We all look at going to practices as, oh, this is our time to practice. No, we've talked about this before being we need to practice like we're going to play in a game and stuff like that, and then the real stuff happens outside of that team organized practice. And that's where I think the parents don't get invested enough, and then it fuels them into becoming assholes at the ballpark and so on and so forth. I mean,
Yeah.
you think about that, we can go sit there. We experience it at the college level still.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, keyboard warriors blow up live streams. Or, if that's how you brought your kid in, then that's the expectation. Or you start banning people from doing stuff on the live stream or coming to games and things like that. I mean, Matt, your question is how can you implement or change something? You can't really have enough security at a place, or you can't put parents in their place while they're a spectator, but it sure would be nice sometimes.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, the culture is the big thing. Like, it's just changing the culture team by team, player by player, and I think that's generational. Like, I think that it takes time because you get
It's gonna
sucked into
yeah,
it and then it's got to reset itself. And, it's just because people get fed up with it, right? Like, you think of, like, another example of this would be like you got your iPad kids. Like, we see all those iPad kids, and then you're going to see a lot of parents that are closer in my age where it's like, no, our kids aren't getting technology because we saw how big of dumbasses those kids were. Like, we ain't doing that.
How do we press the reset button
Yeah.
right
And
now?
it's just and it's just that it takes time, right? Like, so you see those things happening, but it's it's just truly finding like a group that you can get your kids on and be around, that you can trust them to try and share values and try and share ways that you're able to stay together, and then keep trying to do it. And people are going to leave. Like, that's just part of life. It's part of things. Like, people are going to want to do different things, and that's part of life and part of things. But trying to establish a culture that is in it for the right reasons, and the goal is to try and help them advance to the next levels and have an opportunity to play in college, which I've said on our pod many a times. Like, I think that should be everyone's ultimate goal. Like, and then if you have the opportunity after that, that's like awesome. But
Celebrate it.
yeah, but it shouldn't ever and I'm not saying don't dream big, like, don't take it the wrong way. Like, I think every kid that played baseball or plays sports in general wants to be a professional player when they're younger, and I think we should fuel those ambitions. But
I'm still holding out hope
yeah,
for myself.
but as we get closer to,
Road to
high
end.
school ages, we have to then just, strip those game plans down and say, "Hey, listen, like, I understand that's your goal and that's awesome and I love that as a goal. Here's how we make that happen. Our very first step is everything we do in high school is to lead us to college. And then everything we try and do in college is to try and lead us to another opportunity after college." Like, and we put it into a step-by-step thing to make it a reality. And you'll find out really quickly, like in most things in life, people are undisciplined. They lack motivation. They're not willing to sacrifice and do the work. So they're going to find out really fast that usually, high school into college is a hard enough jump and it doesn't happen. And then college into professional sports is even harder jump and it doesn't happen. But very small, minuscule numbers in there of people that are willing to sacrifice and do the work. And I mean, it's just how does that bleed back down into the youth organizations? It's just we have to find ways to collectively, as units, team by team by team basis, try to make differences in that, to where we are all kind of have the same values with what you're trying to do. And it ain't easy. I'll say that, because, dude, I see rec parents shitting and chatting all the time about stuff that they know nothing about and trying to do different things. Then it's just like, playing more things and paying more things aren't necessarily going to be the reason that it happens. And that's another, I think, in our business, right, with Parisi, I think that that's something that we've seen quite often too, is people just think you can pay to get the results. And although that's a piece of the pie, like, that's a step in the direction and that type of stuff, but there's way more to
it
dial
depends.
in on that before, and you can't just pay to be on a good team and expect that to solve all the issues. Like, that's not going to happen. And then that's where the parent issue eventually rears its ugly head, I think, again, because we live in a society where it's like, well, I'm paying for this, I should get this. And that's not necessarily how it is. Like, just paying for it doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get to go where you want to go. So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm
Were you
sorry.
making fart noises in there?
Well,
he was going to say something, but I kept going.
I yawned and then I
Yawn
accidentally made that noise, and I just did it again.
Oh.
This is just funny noise.
Add some toots in here.
Yeah. Now I think something that we kind of skimmed over in my little R&D there, the Google search. Take my job very seriously. Was the money aspect of it all. And you were talking about, well, I can just, if I can pay more to this organization, it'll make me better. And, maybe might happen if they, those coaches.
Would you say 50-50 or more like 30-70?
I don't know. I'm not going to put a number onto that there. That's up to the coaches who run those organizations. And I understand there's a lot of very successful organizations out there who win a lot of tournaments, who are able to charge that much money because they go on a lot of different trips and like what Marcus was talking about in his post, like actual travel ball where they're actually going places and yeah, they have to pay for those fees and everything. But let us not forget that it's such a big business now that private equity firms are getting involved. And when you see that, those people get involved in sports because private equity is getting involved in college sports. And I'm sure it's been involved in youth sports for a while. All the prices are just going to continue to go up because it's always a keep up with the Joneses kind of thing. Where like if these private equity firms are investing in these clubs, so it goes away from, like a guy like Baca who runs the curve, right? So, and elsewhere in even bigger markets, now those private equity firms are just paying a offer that whoever like is in Baca's chair and that organization out there gets bought out. He can't refuse that. Like he's all right, well, yeah, sure. And he can't refuse that. Now private equity firms drive up those prices in a sport that's already insanely expensive. Yep. Baseball, softball, the bats, the gloves, the gear. And then, when you get into the other part of like club ball where we got to have the nicest uniforms, we got to have the best bats each time a new bat comes out because we only make the bats now to last a year, especially in youth, and then the size goes up anyway every year or two. So I got to get a new best bat each year, which are,
$500.
Yeah, even at the youth level now, they're $400, $500. It used to be that price. It used to be $300, $400 for like a high school, but like a drop 3 bat. Now it's $300, $400, $500 for a drop 5 and a drop 8 bat, and it's just insane. So it's already really expensive. Then on top of that, you got to pay your club fees, which don't cover your own hotel fees that you got to do on the travel days and your gas that you got to pay for and everything like that. And if we were to strengthen, like to go back to that initial topic, we were strengthening the rec program, I think, to stay away from that club scene just that early, And I'm not saying like clubs who have young teams, that's fine. Especially if you have good coaches. Like last night, Evan was in here with his team. What was 7U?
I think 7. Yeah.
And I was doing a lesson right now. He's doing a great. All those coaches over there, they were doing a great job. That when the kid put his hat on backwards, said, "All right, he's wearing his hat the wrong way. 15 jumping jacks. Keep your hat on forwards." And they were showing him how to breaking it down, how to do fielding. They're doing an awesome job. So you get a lot of times, most like this. Once again, a lot of what we're talking about is generalizations, and some of it you just kind of have to do because that's the nature of the beast right now. But if you were to kind of strengthen the rec program to be all right with a team when not having to travel a lot or pay into club ball for, up until they're maybe more 12, 13, they actually do want, like the kid wants to take baseball really serious. I'm not saying you don't take it seriously when they're younger because hey, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And you're going to take it seriously and you're going to play, but we're also not going to make it all about all the other stuff that club ball is about than just the game of baseball. It is, let's get better at the game of baseball. Let's not worry so much about winning and losing. Let's worry about how are we responding? How are we growing as ball players? How are we growing as teammates? How are we growing as a culture around each other, parents included, before we take that next step into, okay, let's go pay however much for a club ball. And then I was talking to a guy last night on a team I work with, or not last night, a couple of nights ago. And he was talking about his daughter who's played, selects fast pitch her whole life. And now she's you put all this money, all this time, and then she's like, I want to have a summer off. And so now she's done with the select fast pitch. She's just gonna do high school ball, and she'll kind of see where it goes. But she's saying she just wants to get a job after high school, you know, because she's burnt out from softball. She's like, I want to have a summer off, and I want to enjoy my summer a little bit, after playing year after year after year after year on these different teams, and then going out and about to different places and cool places in these travel ball scenes. Like, you go up to Minnesota, Colorado, trips like that are pretty fun, but it's like you're still playing softball. You're not going there necessarily to get that much time to enjoy that trip. You're still going there to play softball.
Oh, and I think there's realization that happens in that too, right? Like as an athlete, if I'm going to these big 13, 14-year-old things, whatever it is, and I'm starting to think, okay, we aren't winning these. I'm not playing that much. I'm not the best player on my team. That self-thought starts to happen, and then you go, and college is going to be harder than this.
Yeah.
So why the hell do I want to keep doing this?
Exactly.
And those are that's the realities of it. Like, I guarantee you, and I don't know who that is. I do, but if I'm in that shoe and I'm trying to try to navigate through that with them, I guarantee you, if you took the time to sit down and really talk to the girl or guy and really get down to the nitty gritty of what are the motivations and the reasonings behind why you want to do what you do, you're going to get to something around that thought process, because it hits everybody at some point in time.
Yeah.
On the surface level, they want to act one way, but internally it's a whole different thing. And, so that's where you really understand who's going to put in the legwork and do the stuff to go to the next level and do, whatever it is. It's just, those conversations happen, and they need to happen more, but it's hard to happen when mom and dad or coach or whoever it is has just been constantly force feeding it down, like, do it, do it, do it, do it. We're going to this tournament, this tournament, this tournament. You're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Like, there's got to be a love for the game. Like, there's got to be a love for game. We just talked to Scott about this in the car the other day, so that's what made it come into my head. She was like, well, I want to play soccer if her friend plays soccer. And me and Ashley both, the exact same thing coming out of our mouth. Like, no, that's not where we're playing. We're going to find what you want to play. And if you don't want to play it, that's okay. Like, you're 6.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play any sports right now,
couple of years, maybe you do want to play
no
sports,
problem.
but
Like, that's perfectly fine. But you're not going to play sports because your friends. The only reason is because your friends are playing.
Yeah, because halfway through the season, you're
that's
going to
not
be
a
like,
motivator, right?
yeah.
Like, that's not a thing where, you need to do things because it's what you want to do. Like, you want to get better. You want to try it. You want to be involved. If you want to do those things, that's perfectly fine. We'll figure it out. But if you don't truly want to do it, then we're just going to focus on developing you. Like, we're just going to work on you getting stronger, you getting faster, you becoming a better version of you. And we'll figure that out as it comes along, right? But at 6 years old, Scout's age, like, we got kids that are traveling around because they love whatever it is, even though that their brains aren't even developed enough to make an honest decision other than the fact that they need to eat, they need to sleep, like, they have no development.
They fight that too.
And it's just like, it's mind-boggling to me that you press that down into their brains and then expect them to perform. Like, it's just wild. Like, it's a wild concept to really think when you kind of strip it down and look at it from that perspective. It's just crazy to me. But there you go. That's what we think about youth sports. So
yeah, I don't know if we presented a solution there, but
I mean, he commented on there. He said that he agrees with us.
No,
Yeah.
But then I'm sure he had to go to work or something like that. But hey, we had a listener give us a topic, and
worked out right there.
Sean,
Thanks, Matt.
Sean, you did well. I will edit that one word out just for you.
Yeah, I get a little.
Temperature
Temperature turns up.
I just don't want us to get canceled.
I doubt that's
He
what's
does.
going to get us canceled. I will get us canceled one way. That is the goal.
He will try.
We'll
to
press
find
all
a
the
way.
buttons.
Find a way.
Do you mind leading us in our closing prayer, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
Lead us.
I will not mind.
Okay.
Jerk. Lord, thank you again for this day. Thank you for each blessing and challenge that you provide with us every single day. And let us praise you in the highs and praise you in the lows, no matter what. Lord, you're always there. You're always constant. You are the one thing that joy and peace truly comes from, and you provide us with those blessings that can last. Lord, just thank you for Matt's suggestion. Thank you for people actually wanting to listen to us rant about stuff. I think that's pretty cool and just special, and pray that these conversations aren't just conversations, but from our realm and from what we can do and we can influence, I guess, and what we can serve, we can hopefully make things a little bit better one way or another, and provide solutions and work on those solutions, Lord, and honor and glorify you with those solutions. Forgive me for my language, and just allow me for a little more self-control there. Please, Lord, and in your glorious name I pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Well, that's it for episode 80. We just dove into how to fix youth sports, and it was awesome. Anyways, tomorrow we'll have the War Dogs on, and we're excited about that. So we'll see you guys later. Have a great day.